Hello and welcome to Lazy Learners. Today, we're diving into the evolution of the Russian military and how it has transformed over the decades to become a formidable force, capable of challenging NATO in the Russia-Ukraine war. Let's get started. The story of the Russian military begins with the Soviet Union, established in 1922 after the Russian Revolution. The Red Army, as it was known, played a crucial role in consolidating Soviet power and defending the new state during the Russian Civil War. During World War II, the Soviet military became one of the largest and most powerful forces in the world. The Red Army's contribution to the defeat of Nazi Germany was immense, enduring some of the war's heaviest casualties but ultimately capturing Berlin in 1945. This victory solidified the Soviet Union's status as a global superpower. In the post-war era, the Soviet military experienced massive buildup during the Cold War. The Soviet Union and the United States engaged in an arms race, leading to significant advancements in military technology. The Soviet military focused heavily on building a large and diverse arsenal, including tanks, aircraft, and naval vessels. One of the key components of Soviet military power was its tank armies. The T-34 tank, famous for its role in World War II, was succeeded by more advanced models like the T-54, T-62, T-72, and eventually the T-80. These tanks became symbols of Soviet military might, forming the backbone of their ground forces. The Soviet Air Force, or VVS, also saw significant development. Aircraft such as the MiG-15, MiG-21, and MiG-29 fighters, as well as strategic bombers like the Tu-95, showcased the Soviet Union's ability to project power. The space race further highlighted Soviet advancements in missile technology, with intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, becoming a key part of their nuclear strategy. Nuclear capabilities were a major focus. The Soviet Union tested its first atomic bomb in 1949, quickly developing a formidable nuclear arsenal. The concept of mutually assured destruction (MAD) defined the Cold War, with both the Soviet Union and the United States possessing the capability to annihilate each other in a nuclear conflict. The Soviet military wasn't just about hardware. It also involved extensive military doctrines and strategies. The emphasis was on mass mobilization and the ability to conduct large-scale operations. Military education and training were rigorous, with institutions like the Frunze Military Academy and the Voroshilov General Staff Academy producing highly skilled officers. However, the Soviet military faced challenges as well. The rigid command structure and political interference often hindered flexibility and innovation. The focus on quantity sometimes came at the expense of quality, with conscripted soldiers often lacking adequate training and morale. By the late 1980s, the Soviet Union was facing economic difficulties, and maintaining such a vast military became increasingly unsustainable. The war in Afghanistan from 1979 to 1989 further drained resources and exposed weaknesses within the Soviet military system. In 1991, the dissolution of the Soviet Union marked the end of an era. The once mighty Red Army was divided among the newly independent states, with Russia inheriting the bulk of the Soviet military assets. This period of transition set the stage for significant changes in the Russian military that would follow in the subsequent decades.
The dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991 marked a dramatic turning point for the Russian military. The once mighty Red Army, a symbol of Soviet power, faced a period of severe decline. The newly formed Russian Federation inherited the bulk of Soviet military assets, but the transition was anything but smooth. The early 1990s were characterized by economic turmoil and political instability in Russia. The shift from a centrally planned economy to a market-oriented system caused widespread hardship. The military was not spared from these difficulties. Defense budgets were slashed, leading to underfunding and neglect of military infrastructure and equipment. Many military personnel faced significant challenges. Salaries were delayed or unpaid, living conditions deteriorated, and morale plummeted. The conscription system continued, but the quality of training and discipline suffered. The once feared Red Army became a shadow of its former self. During this period, the Russian military struggled to maintain its readiness and operational capability. Equipment and facilities deteriorated due to lack of maintenance and investment. Advanced weapon systems, such as tanks, aircraft, and ships, became obsolete without proper upgrades and servicing. The 1990s also saw the loss of Russia's strategic military bases and assets in former Soviet republics and Eastern European countries. This geopolitical shift reduced Russia's ability to project power beyond its borders. The Baltic states, Ukraine, and other former Soviet republics sought closer ties with NATO and the European Union, further diminishing Russia's influence in the region. The First Chechen War from 1994 to 1996 exposed the weaknesses of the Russian military. The conflict highlighted problems such as poor coordination, inadequate training, and low morale. The Russian forces faced fierce resistance from Chechen fighters, resulting in heavy casualties and a humiliating defeat for Russia. In response to these challenges, the late 1990s saw the beginning of efforts to reform and modernize the Russian military. The focus was on reducing the size of the armed forces while improving their quality and effectiveness. The aim was to create a more professional and capable military that could respond to modern threats and challenges. In 1997, a significant reorganization of the military structure took place. The number of military districts was reduced, and efforts were made to streamline command and control systems. There was an emphasis on improving the professionalization of the officer corps and enhancing training programs. However, these reforms were slow and faced numerous obstacles. Corruption within the military and defense industry hampered progress. The financial crisis of 1998 further strained resources, delaying the implementation of many planned changes. The election of Vladimir Putin as president in 2000 marked a turning point for the Russian military. Recognizing the importance of a strong military for national security and international standing, Putin prioritized military modernization and reform. This set the stage for the significant changes and improvements that would occur in the following decades. The period of post-Soviet decline was a challenging and transformative time for the Russian military. It underscored the need for substantial reforms and modernization, lessons that would shape the strategic priorities of the Russian armed forces moving forward.
The election of Vladimir Putin as president of Russia in 2000 marked the beginning of a new era for the Russian military. Recognizing the critical role of a strong military in securing Russia's national interests and restoring its status as a global power, Putin prioritized military modernization and reform. One of Putin's first steps was to increase defense spending. During the early 2000s, Russia's economy benefited from rising oil prices, which provided the necessary funds to invest in the military. Defense budgets saw consistent increases, allowing for substantial investment in new equipment, training, and infrastructure. A key aspect of this modernization effort was the development and procurement of advanced weapon systems. The Russian military began to acquire state-of-the-art tanks, aircraft, and missile systems. Notable examples include the T-14 Armata tank, the Su-57 fifth-generation fighter jet, and the S-400 surface-to-air missile system. These systems represented significant technological advancements and were designed to match or surpass Western capabilities. The modernization also focused on improving the professionalism and effectiveness of the armed forces. Efforts were made to reduce the reliance on conscripts and increase the proportion of professional soldiers. This involved enhancing recruitment standards, improving training programs, and providing better conditions and incentives for service members. The Russian military also restructured its command and control systems to improve efficiency and responsiveness. The number of military districts was reduced, and new operational commands were created to streamline decision-making and improve coordination. The establishment of the National Defense Management Center in Moscow provided a centralized command hub for real-time strategic oversight. In addition to hardware and structural reforms, the Russian military placed a significant emphasis on developing its cyber and electronic warfare capabilities. Recognizing the growing importance of the digital domain in modern warfare, Russia invested heavily in cyber warfare units and electronic countermeasures. This included efforts to disrupt enemy communications, gather intelligence, and protect Russian systems from cyber attacks. The modernization efforts also extended to Russia's nuclear forces. Maintaining a credible nuclear deterrent remained a top priority. The development of new intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs, such as the RS-24 YARS, as well as advancements in submarine-launched ballistic missiles, SLBMs, and strategic bombers, ensured that Russia retained a formidable nuclear triad. The results of these modernization efforts were evident in various military exercises and conflicts. High-profile exercises like Zapad and Vostok showcased the improved capabilities and readiness of the Russian armed forces. These exercises demonstrated Russia's ability to conduct large-scale, coordinated operations involving multiple branches of the military. The modernization was also tested in real conflicts. The 2008 Russo-Georgian War highlighted both strengths and areas for improvement, leading to further reforms. More recently, the intervention in Syria showcased the Russian military's enhanced expeditionary capabilities and the effectiveness of its modernized hardware and tactics. One of the most significant aspects of Putin's modernization drive has been the emphasis on hybrid warfare. This approach blends conventional military power with unconventional tactics such as cyber operations, misinformation campaigns, and the use of proxy forces. The annexation of Crimea in 2014 and the conflict in eastern Ukraine demonstrated Russia's ability to achieve strategic objectives using a combination of military, political, and informational tools. While the modernization of the Russian military under Putin has achieved significant progress, it has not been without challenges. Issues such as corruption, inefficiencies within the defense industry, and economic sanctions imposed by the West have posed obstacles. However, the overall trajectory has been one of substantial improvement in capability and readiness.
In the past decade, the Russian military has undergone several key developments that have significantly enhanced its capabilities and operational effectiveness. These developments span across various domains, including ground forces, air power, naval strength, and cyber warfare. One of the most notable advancements has been in the development of advanced weapon systems. The T-14 Armata tank represents a significant leap in armored vehicle technology. Equipped with an unmanned turret, advanced armor, and a fully digitalized control system, the T-14 is designed to be more survivable and lethal on the modern battlefield. This tank is part of Russia's broader efforts to modernize its ground forces with cutting-edge technology. In the realm of air power, the introduction of the Su-57 fifth-generation fighter jet marks a major milestone. The Su-57 is designed to compete with Western stealth fighters like the F-22 Raptor and F-35 Lightning II. It features stealth technology, advanced avionics, and supermaneuverability, making it a formidable addition to the Russian Air Force. Alongside the Su-57, upgrades to existing platforms such as the Su-35 and MiG-35 have enhanced Russia's aerial capabilities. The S-400 Triumph air defense system has also garnered significant attention. Capable of engaging a wide range of aerial targets, including aircraft, drones, and ballistic missiles, the S-400 is considered one of the most advanced air defense systems in the world. Its deployment has not only strengthened Russia's defensive posture but also served as a strategic export product, with countries like Turkey and India purchasing the system. The naval domain has seen advancements with the development of new submarines and surface vessels. The Boryai-class nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines, SSBNs, and Yazan-class nuclear-powered attack submarines, SSNs, represent the cutting edge of Russian naval technology. These submarines enhance Russia's strategic deterrent capabilities and its ability to project power globally. Additionally, the Admiral Gorshkov-class frigates and other modern surface ships have improved the Russian Navy's operational flexibility and firepower. Cyber warfare and electronic warfare capabilities have become critical components of Russia's military strategy. The Russian military has developed sophisticated cyber units capable of conducting offensive and defensive operations in the digital domain. These capabilities include disrupting enemy communications, gathering intelligence, and launching cyber attacks against critical infrastructure. The focus on cyber warfare reflects the changing nature of modern conflicts, where the digital battlefield is as important as the physical one. Russia's emphasis on hybrid warfare tactics has also been a key development. Hybrid warfare combines conventional military operations with unconventional methods, such as cyber attacks, misinformation campaigns, and the use of proxy forces. The annexation of Crimea in 2014 and the ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine are prime examples of Russia's hybrid warfare strategy. These operations blend military, political, and informational tools to achieve strategic objectives while minimizing direct confrontation with NATO forces. Another significant development has been the improvement in logistics and mobility. The Russian military has invested in modernizing its logistics infrastructure and enhancing its rapid deployment capabilities. This includes the acquisition of new transport aircraft, improvements in rail and road networks, and the establishment of prepositioned supply depots. These efforts ensure that Russian forces can be quickly mobilized and sustained in various theaters of operation.
The Russia-Ukraine War, which began in 2014 with the annexation of Crimea, escalated dramatically in 2022 with a full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine. This conflict has put the modernized Russian military to the test, showcasing both its strengths and weaknesses. On February 24, 2022, Russian forces launched a multi-front invasion of Ukraine. This invasion included ground, air, and naval operations aimed at rapidly seizing key Ukrainian cities and infrastructure. The initial strategy appeared to focus on a quick decapitation strike, targeting the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, and other major cities to force a swift capitulation. The Russian military's use of precision-guided munitions and advanced weaponry was evident in the early stages of the conflict. Airstrikes and missile attacks targeted Ukrainian military installations, airfields, and logistics hubs. The deployment of advanced systems like the Iskander ballistic missile and Kalibr cruise missile demonstrated Russia's long-range strike capabilities. However, the invasion faced significant resistance from Ukrainian forces. The Ukrainian military, bolstered by years of Western training and support, mounted a fierce defense. The use of portable anti-tank and anti-aircraft weapons, such as the Javelin and Stinger missiles provided by NATO countries, proved highly effective against Russian armor and aircraft. Urban warfare became a critical aspect of the conflict. Russian forces encountered stiff resistance in cities like Kyiv, Kharkiv, and Mariupol. The challenges of urban combat, combined with logistical issues and determined Ukrainian resistance, slowed the Russian advance and led to significant casualties and equipment losses. The war also highlighted the role of hybrid warfare tactics. Russia employed cyber attacks, disinformation campaigns, and psychological operations to disrupt Ukrainian communications, sow confusion, and undermine morale. These efforts aimed to complement conventional military operations and weaken Ukrainian resolve. Despite initial setbacks, Russian forces adapted their strategy. The focus shifted to the Donbas region in eastern Ukraine, where Russia aimed to consolidate control over the predominantly Russian-speaking areas of Donetsk and Luhansk. The fighting in the Donbas became characterized by intense artillery duels, trench warfare, and attritional battles reminiscent of World War I. The naval dimension of the conflict saw Russia leveraging its Black Sea Fleet to blockade Ukrainian ports and launch amphibious assaults. The strategic capture of Snake Island and the use of naval assets to control maritime routes demonstrated Russia's ability to project power in the Black Sea. However, the sinking of the Moskva, the flagship of the Black Sea Fleet, by Ukrainian missiles was a significant blow to Russian naval prestige. The economic and logistical impact of Western sanctions also played a crucial role in the conflict. Sanctions targeting Russian defense industries and critical technologies affected the production and maintenance of advanced weapon systems. The isolation from global financial systems and restrictions on exports of key components further strained Russia's war effort. Throughout the conflict, the human cost has been immense. Both military and civilian casualties have been significant, with widespread destruction of infrastructure and displacement of populations. The humanitarian crisis resulting from the war has garnered international attention and condemnation. The Russia-Ukraine war has underscored the importance of modern warfare capabilities, including the integration of conventional and unconventional tactics. It has also highlighted the challenges of maintaining logistical support, adapting strategies in response to battlefield realities, and the impact of international economic measures on military operations.
The ongoing Russia-Ukraine war has brought into sharp focus the comparative military strengths of Russia and NATO. As Russia seeks to assert its influence in Ukraine and counter NATO's presence in Eastern Europe, Understanding the balance of power between these two military giants is essential. NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, is a collective defense alliance comprising 31 member countries. Established in 1949, NATO's primary mission is to ensure the freedom and security of its members through political and military means. The combined military capabilities of NATO member states represent the most significant counterbalance to Russian military power. In terms of conventional forces, NATO possesses a substantial numerical and technological advantage. The alliance boasts over 3 million active military personnel, supported by advanced weaponry, logistics, and training programs. NATO's military strength is underscored by the United States, which contributes the largest share of the alliance's capabilities. The U.S. military, with its vast resources and technological edge, significantly bolsters NATO's overall power. NATO's air power is one of its most formidable strengths. The alliance fields a diverse and technologically advanced fleet of fighter jets, bombers, and surveillance aircraft. The United States alone operates stealth aircraft like the F-22 Raptor and F-35 Lightning II, which provides significant air superiority. European NATO members contribute with advanced platforms like the Eurofighter Typhoon and the Dassault Rafale. In contrast, while Russia has developed advanced fighters such as the Su-57, the overall numerical and qualitative edge in air power lies with NATO. Naval power is another critical domain where NATO holds an advantage. The alliance's combined naval forces include aircraft carriers, submarines, destroyers, and frigates capable of projecting power across the globe. The U.S. Navy, with its carrier strike groups, provides unmatched maritime dominance. Russia, while maintaining a potent naval force with assets like the Boryai-class submarines and the Kirov-class battlecruisers, faces challenges in sustaining a global naval presence. The loss of the Moskva, the Black Sea Fleet's flagship, highlighted vulnerabilities in Russian naval operations. Ground forces are a key area of focus in the NATO-Russia comparison. NATO's ground forces are highly trained and equipped with modern tanks, armored vehicles, and artillery. The alliance's emphasis on interoperability ensures that member states can operate cohesively in joint operations. Russia's ground forces, while numerically significant and equipped with advanced systems like the T-14 Armata tank, have faced logistical and operational challenges, as seen in the Ukraine conflict. Issues such as coordination, supply chain management, and the integration of new technologies have impacted Russian ground operations. Nuclear capabilities are a critical component of the strategic balance between Russia and NATO. Both possess substantial nuclear arsenals capable of mutual assured destruction, MAD. The U.S. and Russia hold the majority of the world's nuclear warheads, with delivery systems that include ICBMs, SLBMs, and strategic bombers. NATO's nuclear deterrence strategy relies on the U.S. nuclear umbrella, complemented by the nuclear forces of the United Kingdom and France. Russia's strategic nuclear forces remain a cornerstone of its defense policy, with ongoing modernization of its nuclear triad ensuring a credible deterrent. Cyber warfare and electronic warfare capabilities are increasingly important in the modern military landscape. NATO has developed robust cyber defense and offense capabilities, with member states like the US and the UK leading in cyber operations. Russia, recognized for its sophisticated cyber warfare tactics, has employed cyber attacks and electronic warfare to disrupt communications, gather intelligence, and influence public opinion. Both sides continue to advance their capabilities in this domain, making cyber warfare a critical aspect of future conflicts. NATO's collective defense principle, enshrined in Article 5 of the NATO Treaty, ensures that an attack on one member is considered an attack on all. This principle provides a significant strategic advantage, as it deters potential aggressors by guaranteeing a unified response. Russia, while capable of significant military operations, faces the challenge of countering the combined might of multiple NATO member states. The alliance's ability to mobilize and coordinate forces from diverse nations enhances its strategic flexibility and resilience.
The Russian military has come a long way from its Soviet origins. Through periods of decline and rejuvenation, it has emerged as a significant global force. The ongoing conflict with Ukraine continues to shape its evolution and impact the global balance of power. Thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Lazy Learners for more deep dives into historical and modern events.